Good morning. I'm very pleased to be able to address you here at our online Spring Forum, which is our first major national gathering as a party this year. In just a few days' time, I'm finally going to be able to go to the barbers, but more important than that, I'm going to be able to go down the street and cautiously, but irreversibly, I'm going to drink a pint of beer in the pub. And as things stand, I can see absolutely nothing in the data to dissuade me from continuing along our roadmap to freedom.
Let me explain what he means. Roadmap to Freedom is mainly a four-stage approach that will start lifting all the restrictions from lockdown starting tomorrow. But before I go into details of what each one of the steps will do, I'd like to do a quick recap of what brought us to this point.
On the 23rd of March, London started its first lockdown.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
And shops would only reopen by 15th of June of 2020. On the 3rd of August, the government, in an attempt to reignite the economy, did an Eat Out to Help Out program, where you would get 50% discount if you ate at the restaurant. That obviously drove a lot of people out, and the government noticed that there was a need to put further restrictions into place. So the rule of 6 came into force, and that would say that you could only now meet 6 people or 2 households. On the 14th of October, a 3-tier system was implemented, but that wasn't enough to control the spike, and on the 5th of November, London went back to lockdown.
Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home. You may only leave home for specific reasons.
As the holidays were approaching, there were a lot of concerns about celebrations, and the Prime Minister actually communicated that from the 23rd to the 27th, some restrictions would be lifted so people could celebrate.
As I say, to ban Christmas, to cancel it, and I think that would be frankly inhuman.
On the 2nd of December, lockdown ended. However, on the 19th of December, tougher measurements were announced and Christmas mixing was forbidden in some regions.
Given the early evidence we have on this new variant of the virus, the potential risk it poses, it is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned.
And on the 21st of December, a new Tier 4 was implemented. Little after that, on the 6th of January, London actually went back in lockdown on the new Tier 5.
Today, the United Kingdom's chief medical officers have advised that the country should move to alert level 5, meaning that if action is not taken, NHS capacity may be overwhelmed within 21 days.
And we're still in lockdown. But considering the reduction in number of cases, they're following through with the roadmap to freedom, and that starts changing tomorrow.
As you could see, it was quite messy. Lots of backs and forths, changes in guidance. Anyway, we're here now. And now, with this roadmap to freedom, we are 4 stages away from having life back to normal, or to be honest, as normal as it will get. And what they keep saying is that this time this should be a definite plan. Considering that all of us, or most of us, will have vaccine by the middle of the year, they're very confident that if the plan follows through, we're all gonna be free again. I'm not so sure I'm that confident, but to be honest, I'm choosing to believe in it just because it's all we have. So let me quickly explain. So this is the roadmap to freedom, this 4-stage approach starting 29th of March. On the first stage, starting tomorrow, so rule of 6 is back, meaning up to 6 people can meet outside or 2 households. And that includes in private gardens. Outdoor sports facilities can reopen, but you can still take holidays. Pubs and restaurants continue to be closed unless it's for takeaway purposes. And also all non-essential shops are still closed. When we move to second stage, they're lifting now way more restrictions. So all shops can now be open again. Restaurants and pubs can now serve food as long as it's outside. Gyms, spas, zoo, parks can now reopen. Holidays is allowed for the same household now as long as it's in self-contained accommodation, so you can go camping as an example. And you can have now up to 15 people attending weddings. So moving to stage 3, 17th of May. So up to 30 people can meet outside, and that includes events, weddings, and all of that. Now you can finally invite your friends over again, so you can meet up to 6 people or 2 households inside your house. Hospitality, restaurants, pubs can now seat people inside. Museum, cinema, theater, they all reopen. And the biggest one of all, large events are now allowed as long as they limit the amount of people that attend such events. Hotel, hostels, bed and breakfast now can reopen again. One I'm really looking forward to, international travels will now be allowed. Indoor exercises and group classes can now reopen on gyms and other places. And as you could see, most of the restrictions will be lifted already until the last stage, which is stage 4, where pretty much they remove all social restrictions. That means that nightclubs, as an example, can open again. There's no limitation in terms of how many people you can meet indoors or outdoors. So stage 4 is life as normal. We're back to what it used to be. This is it. Roadmap to freedom starting tomorrow. At least we get to see our friends. Again, we don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but it is good to have that as hopes and expectation. There's many other things that can happen along the way. New variants can come along, this vaccine discussion that is always ongoing. But as with everything in this pandemic, we're just gonna need to wait and see. There's too many variables and too many things that can happen. And also, even if we don't have any other news or any change in those plans, I still struggle to see how we're gonna just go back to life as normal, as COVID will still be there. I tend to believe that at some point we're gonna agree into more socially distant sort of restrictions and guidances on an ongoing basis. I do hope I'm wrong, as I would love to be wrong, but I guess we shall wait and see. So if you live in London, you know very well what I'm talking about. If you don't live in London, I hope that was worth for you, so at least you have an idea of what is happening around here. So that's it. I see you in the next one.